On May 1st, in Waynesboro City Election, 2,075 people decided who would run the city and schools. Even though there are more than 13,000 registered voters in the city, only 15% of the residents exercise their right to vote. According to Waynesboro election officials, approximately 350 people voted in the last city election.
We don't expect a huge turnout because it's just for the city, but it's been really quite good. What happens is that we have a steady flow, and that's important for us because it keeps us from getting bored. We have plenty to do, but it's certainly not at the level of a presidential election.
Jim Wilson is the chief election officer for Ward B in Waynesboro. The polling site for Ward B is the Waynesboro Library. He says more than 300 people voted at the site before 1 p.m. He was expecting additional voters around 4 p.m. from nearby factories and plants.
Shift workers get out at 4 or so after 4, and then it really quiets down after 6. So it increases from 4 to 6.
There was a low voter turnout for the Waynesboro City election. In Ward B, at the Waynesboro Library, 633 residents voted out of 3,524 registered voters. In Ward A, at Basic United Methodist Church, 184 people cast their ballots out of 2,409 registered voters. In Ward C, at Wayne Hills Preschool Center, 395 people voted out of 3,035 registered voters. Ward D is routinely the busiest polling site in Waynesboro. It is located at Westminster Presbyterian Church, where 817 people cast their ballots out of 4,096 registered voters. I spoke with voters at the Waynesboro Library about casting their ballots. David Henderson says he voted hoping his candidates can keep his grandchildren safe while they attend school.
I am an advocate of education, and I have 2 grandkids, and I'd like them to have a brighter future. With dealing with weapons in schools and stuff like that, I didn't grow up with that kind of environment, and I hope it changes in the near future, especially when they get to the age, so they won't have to deal with these kind of problems.
Michelle Brandt says she's proud of her voting record and did her homework on choosing candidates.
I've voted in every single election since my 12th grade government teacher signed us up to vote, and I'm now a bit older than 12th grade, but it's something that my dad kind of taught me was really important to take a voice in your community, not just the big elections, but the small ones too, because they're the ones who make the decisions that impact your day-to-day life.
Rosemary Petrock tried a different strategy for choosing her candidates.
I didn't really review who was running, so I really wasn't sure who to vote for. So I went to the Democratic headquarters, and my mistake for waiting for the last minute, but they were closed. I looked inside, I saw the signs, so that's who I voted for. I voted for Eliza Fulton Lawson and Hostetter.
Speaking of Hostetter, who won the Ward D seat during the city election, I caught up with his wife, Melissa Hostetter. She joined some of her husband's campaign workers at the library.
I think people are more engaged at this point in time, recognizing that, your vote does count, and with local elections in particular, they are going to affect what's going on in your community. And so people are feeling like, hey, I can have a voice in this.
I got a chance to speak with Sam Hostetter before he learned he won the Ward D seat.
The more people that voice their opinion, the better for everybody, for all the candidates involved. So hopefully we'll get enough people out here that there's enough interest to really then support whoever wins.
In Waynesboro, Elaine Rackley for Breaking Through News.